We are going to start a new topic, dual nature of matter and radiation. Let us understand what is the topic all about. Dual nature. Dual nature. In physics, dual nature means particle nature and wave nature. Okay? As well as the topic is saying about matter and radiation. Matter, everything which is related to mass, momentum, as well as all the particles which can be seen, touched, or even not seen, then also it exists as a particle. And radiation, it is referred as light, which we know, okay, light, everything by which we can see. Before starting this topic, okay, let us understand, we need to know about everything, all about in this chapter is basically starting from electron. Okay, how electron sold, electron is a particle we know, and how did it sold that wave nature. After that only we got a concept that matter as well as radiation both has dual nature. Before the invention of electron, we were knowing a quantity, that is E by m is equal to 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. This value was founded by none other than J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson, a great scientist, even after he only invented electron, discovered electron. Okay. So in this value must be remembered. It is often asked. It is a very important value. Before the discovery of electron, we were only having this value, and this value was founded by J.J. Thomson. 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. Now see. Before also, establishment of wave nature of light was well defined by Maxwell's equation of electromagnetism as well as Hertz's experiment on generation and detection of electromagnetic waves in 1887. In 1887, okay. At that time only, wave nature was well defined for light. Okay. Now, the conduction of electricity, that is electric discharge. These terms should be understood clearly. Conduction of electricity is the electric discharge through gases at a low pressure in a discharge tube. Discharge tube, in a discharge tube, when the pressure is very very low, at that time if you do some electric discharge through gases, with the help of gases, it led to many historic discoveries such as X-rays by Röntgen in 1895, electron by J.J. Thomson. This all was done due to one type of single experiment, that was electric discharge through gases at low pressure in a discharge tube. Okay. It is a very important quantity that the pressure should be about 0.001 millimeter of Hg column. Okay. Now see. So we were having a value, that is E by m is equal to 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. But how did, even we are studying physics, so we need to know that how did J.J. Thomson found that E by m value. And what is this E by m value? This is ratio of charge to mass. Okay, charge to mass. Ratio of charge to mass is E by m is equals to 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. How did it happen? Basically, it starts from cathode rays, which were discovered by William Crookes. He was also a scientist, and William Crookes suggested that these rays consist of streams of fast moving negatively charged particles. This hypothesis was confirmed by J.J. Thomson. Okay, and that's why J.J. Thomson, and he named it electron, that particle, and he is credited as the discoverer of electron. Okay, J.J. Thomson confirmed by experiments. Okay, what was in the experiment? By applying mutually perpendicular electric field and magnetic field across the discharge tube. Okay, J.J. Thomson was the first. See, this is the reason, because he was the first to determine experimentally. Those who determined experimentally, they are the owner of that thing. To determine experimentally the speed and specific charge, that is E by m. This value was first founded by J.J. Thomson, and it is equal to 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. and these particles were stream of fast moving negatively charged particles. These particles were cathode rays, initially it was called. They were found to travel with speed moving about 0.1 to 0.2 times the speed of light. The speed of light is c is equals to 3 into 10 to the power 8, and if it is saying 0.1, it means 3 into 10 to the power 7 meter per second may be the speed of electron. Okay. The present accepted value for E by m. This is very important. Already I have told you 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. Further, the value of E by m was found to be independent of the nature. This is the most important thing. It was found that E by m was found to be independent of the nature of the material. It does not have to do anything with the material or matter used as a cathode. In the cathode ray experiment, you must be knowing the emitter plate is called the cathode and the collector is called the anode, because we were here. The value of E by m was found to be independent of the nature of the material used as cathode or the gas. Even if the gas which we used, already I told you, the gas is used for the electric discharge. So the value, this value was not related neither with the metal nor with the gas introduced into discharge tube. Okay. Now British physicist irradiate. You need to know the terms. Okay. In physics, these are very important. Irradiated means expose something to radiation or illuminate something by or as if by shining light on it. Okay. It was also found that certain metals. Okay. It was also found that certain metals, when irradiated, irradiated means by ultraviolet light, UV light, emitted negatively charged particles having small speeds. Again, it was also found that certain metal, when heated to high temperature, emitted negatively charged particles. The value of E by m of these particles was found to be the same as that for the cathode ray particles. See, this is cathode ray particles. This was previously discovered. Okay, by whom? By William Crookes. Okay, and he suggested that these are negatively charged particles, and when the value of E by m was collected by these process, either irradiating by UV light or by heating, the value of E by m which we obtained of these all particles was found to be the same as that for the cathode ray particles. These observations thus established that all these particles, although produced under different conditions, what are the different conditions? Either by irradiating it by UV lights or by heating it. Okay, and these all the values of E by m was same, and hence it was found that these all processes are identical in nature. Okay, J. Thomson in 1897 named these particles electron. Okay, won Nobel Prize for discovery of electron in 1906. See, but till now we are having the ratio of E by m. How to know precise value of E and m? We know that till now we were having this ratio of E by m, but I wanted to know the value of along this as well as this individually. Here comes American physicist R.M. Millikan. In 1913, R.M. Millikan performed the pioneering oil drop experiment for the precise individual measurement of the charge on an electron. He found that the charge on an oil droplet was always an integral multiple of an elementary charge, that is equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Millikan experiment established that electric discharge is quantized. How it is quantized? That it is integral multiple of an elementary charge, and that charge equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. From the values of, now see, we were having the value of E upon m, and we also got the value of this. So easily we can calculate this. From the values of the charge E and the specific charge E by m, the mass m of the electron could be determined. E is equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. E by m is equal to 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. So mass is equal to E upon 1.76 into 10 to the power. By this whole calculation, you can get the value 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. This is the mass of electron. See this power, minus 2 to 1. It is very less. Now we come to electron emission. Okay, basically how electrons come out from its metal surface. See, emission कहीं से निकल रहा है, ठीक है, तो उसको निकलने कैसे निकलेगा? किसी भी मेटल है, मेटल में इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है. How can it escape that metal surface? Okay, this is the meaning of electron emission. Now see, suppose if an electron attempts to come out of the metal surface acquires a positive charge, push the electron back into the metal. Suppose this is the metal surface and electrons are, if it wants to come, then if electron is moving out of from here, all the positive charge will gather about here, and now these all positive charge will again attract this electron, and so this electron can't come out until and unless the free electrons are thus held inside the metal surface by the electric force of the. Consequently, the electron can come out. See, until and unless it can come out, only it can come out of this metal surface only if it has got sufficient energy. See, at this time, when he wants to come, he is having some energy, but this energy is not sufficient for him to come out. Okay, because positive charge can hold it, attract it, if he is having this much energy only. But if he got sufficient energy to overcome the attractive pull of protons, okay, if he got sufficient energy to overcome the attractive pull of proton on nucleus, okay, then electron will come out. So this certain minimum amount of energy which is required to be given to an electron to pull it out from the surface of the metal, this minimum energy required by an electron to escape from the metal surface is called the work function of the metal. It is a term in physics, work function, and this is the energy. This is the amount of energy. This will give you the amount of energy which we give to electron to let it come out from the metal surface. Okay, it is denoted by psi naught. This is called psi naught, and it is measured in electron volt. Electron volt is a unit of energy. We know that. Okay, 1 electron volt is the energy. 1 electron volt is the energy gained by whom? Electron. When it has been accelerated by a potential difference of 1 volt. When we will give a metal surface a potential difference of 1 volt, okay, potential difference of 1 volt, it will gain how much energy? It will gain an energy equal to 1 electron volt. Okay, now see, now we want, see, it is a electron volt is a unit of energy, joule is unit of energy, and between different units of the same quantity we need a conversion factor, and 1 electron volt is equals to this much value. How did it came? 1 electron volt, value of E is here, and volt. Okay, volt, how much volt we used? 1 volt we used. Okay, so into 1, basically into 1. Okay, into 1 electron volt, and this electron volt is to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Okay, this is the conversion factor, must be remembered. 1 electron volt is equals to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Okay, this unit is commonly used in atomic nuclear physics. Okay, this electron volt, this unit is used when we study about atomic and nuclear physics, because the quantity is so small. Okay, now see, the work function psi naught depends on the properties of the metal. Okay, depends on properties of the metal. Okay, and the nature of its surface. Properties of the metal and the nature of its surface, it decides the work function of any metal. Okay, work function is highest for platinum and lowest for cesium. The values are psi naught 5.65 electron volt, psi naught is equals to 2.4 electron volt. Okay, these are values. These are given in NCERT book. You can get it from there. These values will be given in the question. You can remember it also if you want. I have memorized all the things, and I have made that how to learn it easily. I have made some pairs. See, copper and silver metals we commonly know, so I have grouped in one. And how is it is easy to learn is that 4.65, 4.70. It means it comes that only 0.5 we have to include. Okay, 4.65, 4.70. Then we come to potassium, calcium. Both are together in our periodic table. So here I got this one, 2.30 and 3.20. So symmetric, you can see here. Now we come to sodium, aluminum. It is also almost together in the periodic table, 2.75, 4.28. Sodium, aluminum pairs. Okay, in the periodic table, sodium, magnesium, aluminum. So it is all together. Okay. Now the unique one, molybdenum and nickel. Okay, molybdenum and nickel, 4.17, 5.15 to be memorized strictly. And HgPb, why this I have grouped? Because the name is different from their symbols. Hg, mercury, Pb, lead, 4.49, 4.25. You can memorize or not, it depends on you. Now see, work function is the minimum energy. Okay, work function is the minimum energy required by an electron to come out from the metal surface. Okay, this minimum energy can be supplied to the free electron by any one of the following physical process. Okay, we know that this minimum energy is needed. Okay, I got that minimum energy required by electron to escape from metal surface. But how will they get this minimum energy? How? Okay, they can get this by three following process. That is thermonic emission. Thermonic emission means by providing sufficient heat, thermal energy. Thermal means heat. Okay, by providing sufficient heat energy. Field emission. Field emission, that is by applying very strong electric field of approximately of the order of 10 to the power 8 volt per meter. Okay. Photoelectric emission, that is illuminating a metal surface, irradiating a metal surface or illuminating a metal surface by light of suitable frequency. Frequency is the most important factor. You will know it on further studies when we will move to next page. Suitable frequency causes emission of electron. These electrons are specially named as photoelectrons. The electrons which are emitted with the help of photoelectric emission, they are named as photoelectrons. Now see, arc. In physics, arc is a luminous electric discharge between two electrodes. Okay, suppose two electrodes are kept like this, and there is some potential difference is between them. So an electric discharge will take place, which will cause glowing of light. Okay, luminous means glowing. Okay, glowing of light, and this is in the form of arc. So in arc in physics, it is referred to a light. Okay, luminous electric discharge between two electrodes. Now we will study about something about photoelectric field. In photoelectric field, many scientists have different observations. Actually, same observations, but in different kinds. Okay, Heinrich Hertz, 1857 to 1894, discovered photoelectrons. Okay, Heinrich Hertz is credited by the discovery of photoelectrons in 1887. See, he discovered photoelectrons in 1887, and in 1897, electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson. Hertz observer. He was doing an experimental investigation on the production of electromagnetic waves. Production of electromagnetic waves. See, already in the starting, we told you that Maxwell's equation of electromagnetic and has experiments on generation and detection of electromagnetic wave. This established the wave nature of light. Okay, now again, while doing photoelectric, okay, Hertz observation. Why he was doing the same experiment? Okay, investigation on the production of electromagnetic wave by means of spark discharge. Now he was using another means of thing by which he can determine electromagnetic waves. Okay, he can produce electromagnetic wave, and that was spark discharge. At that time, Hertz observed that high voltage sparks. In spark discharge, we will get that sparks, that high voltage sparks across the detector loop. While during an experiment, we needed something to detect whatever we want. So sparks across the detector loop were enhanced. See, sparks were enhanced when the emitter plate was illuminated by ultraviolet light from an arc lamp. Okay. When this arc lamp was brought near to the experimental place, due to this ultraviolet light coming out from arc lamp, the emitter plate was illuminated. Okay, and due to this illumination, some electrons come out, and when electrons come out, it means that spark were enhanced. More electron will come, then the spark will be more. Okay, so enhance means more. By this observation, we can conclude that light shining on metal surface provides enough energy for electrons to help them escaping from the metal surface to the surrounding space. Okay. Now we will study about Holbach's and Lenard's observation.